Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my presentation. Before I will start to explain what is the role of financing and financial institutions in electromobility, I'm going to take you for a short ride. Let's go.
Jezu, kochany, ale rewelacja.
Co jest rewelacją?
Jak totka wygra, to przyjdę do was.
A jak się pani czuje, że coś
Jezu,
takiego?
super, cichutko, rewela. A żółte mi włączyli, no patrz. Nie, super. No nie przypuszczałam, że elektryczne samochody takie będą mieć szybko.
Widzę, że gotowe.
Jezu, jak super. O matko, i mojej kumpelce, powiem przyjaciółce, mówiłam cię, a mówiłam cię.
Jest przyjemność. Nic nie słychać, cichutko. Fajnie się zbiera. Coś pięknego, nie? Szczerze mówiąc.
Nie, po prostu w ogóle nieporównywalne.
Aha.
Ojej,
I co?
kupuję.
So, for those of you who don't understand Polish, I think the expression of those people having experienced electric car for the first time was really great. So, as Mrs. Minister Elmilewicz said, Impact is a place where all e-mobility leaders meet. So we see ourselves as Volkswagen Financial Services jointly with Volkswagen Group Poland as a facilitator, as someone who's enabling to drive those electric cars in the future. We see the importance of e-mobility as a positive influence on economic growth and future development. So this is really something what we want and will support. So while developing and talking about electromobility, we cannot exclude financial institutions because financial institutions are providing mobility in different countries under different conditions, so we can exchange our information and best practices. So while talking about mobility, currently, mainly we talk about the car. So in the future, talking about electromobility, we have to think about the whole ecosystem. Because this is not only the car itself, it makes pleasure to drive the car, but this is everything about the tax regulations, about the whole infrastructure which is needed in order, let's say, to make it happen. Thinking of e-mobility, we should work on grants policies as well, and all tools which will support the customers and increase the demand for electrical vehicles. So why buy electric car? Simple, because this is a better car. This is a new technology. This is a car with a by far much better dynamic, more comfortable and spacious compared to the combustion engine car, and eco-friendly. If we take into consideration the total cost of ownership of electric car, this one is going to be much cheaper, especially for fleets not driving long distances, because the maintenance costs are going to be around 30% less, and every driven kilometer, if we compare fuel, gas to electric, it's half of that. So, in fact, when we asked the customers whether they would consider to buy an electric car, on the beginning, around 12% of the Polish people asked this question said yes, they would consider. But after having test drive, already 36% said okay, they would be interested in using this future technology. So this is not only about the lower emission, being environmental friendly, this is about being efficient. This is as well driving a car which is by definition much more safe. Why this car is safer? because the financing scheme we will offer for those cars, they include not only insurance, but full service and maintenance. So even a used car on the market will be with known history, origination, and we can be certain that this car over the whole life cycle will be well maintained. Performance, it's obvious that what we've seen in the picture. So this really makes fun to drive this car. For those of you who did not have the experience yet, I invite you outside after the meetings to have the test drives with our cars. And the costs, which I have already mentioned. So what are the major customers, barriers, concerns? So in fact, on the first place, this is infrastructure coverage. So financial institutions can not only finance the wall box, for example, at home if you are driving electrical car, because around 50% of the cars currently are being loaded at home. We can even finance the wall boxes and charging stations for our fleet customers, because fleet customers, in our opinion, will be the one who will quite soon switch at least part of their fleets into this solution. And we can as well maintain and manage the whole charging access and billing procedures by providing the, let's say, appropriate solutions. So what is the concern as well is competitive range. But today at one, we will present our ID3 model, which will have, let's say, the range of up to 550 kilometers with a price of 130k PLN starting. So we can see that this barrier will soon disappear. The next problem for the potential buyer is the price. So we as a financial services, we see our role in managing uncertainty and educating the potential customers. So we are bringing the tools which are enabling to drive the car for half of the cost of conventional car, conventional financing, because we guarantee the residual value. So if the customer is uncertain, he's paying a certain amount of money monthly and is giving the keys back after 3 years of usage. So there is always flat rate with all-inclusive, so there are no surprises. So insurance included, service and maintenance is included. So for the fleets, we are able to deliver consultancy where we can support our customers by taking decision which part of fleet, from economical point of view, makes sense to switch into the electro fleet. So currently, we are looking at the Polish market, where last year 530,000 new passenger cars were sold. So 45% of this market consists, or purchases were done by leasing or rental companies, and it's something what we can not ignore. We have, let's say, to think about support for this part and by definition of the final customer. So if we talk about the 90,000 of light commercial vehicles, this portion was even 70%. But all of those cars, 80% used anyway any kind of financing. It was credit line, leasing, or long-term rental solution. So, can financing change the game? Yes, it can change and it will change. Why? Because if we talk about, let's say, car being purchased by cash, so currently even conventional cars purchased by cash are being used for 7 years. That means one car used by one person over 7 years' time. We are creating a solution with market residual value where we are taking over the residual value risk, and by low monthly installment, the first customer can drive the ID3 for around 1,400 PLN a month. After 3 years, he's giving back the key, and then he's taking a new car, while his car, through our sales channel, is being sold or is being given to the second customer. That means after 7 years, we are changing the picture. So compared to the traditional way of financing by credit line or purchases by cash, in fact, having one user and one car, we are changing to 3 different users and 3 cars being in the car park in the market. So this is the way we understand how we can support and how we see our role in developing electromobility on the Polish market. So by creating these financial solutions, we will create multiple experience for our customers. And once again, I would like you to take it with you. While providing financial solutions, we are not only making the cars more affordable for different customer groups with different money they have in their pocket to pay for the mobility, but we are increasing as well the number of the population of the electrical vehicles for further use in the following years. So thank you for your attention, and I invite you first for a presentation of the ID3 of the Volkswagen Group, and later for test drives with our electrical vehicles. Thank you very much for your attention.